Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Good day and welcome to Fusion Mobile e-learning class. My name is Fayomi Kende and I'll be taking you on English language. Today's topic is comprehension skill. And under comprehension skill, we'll be looking at reading to comprehend word meaning through context, definition clues, and example clues. What do we mean by definition clues in a context? Sometimes writers define words they think their readers will find unfamiliar. They do this by using punctuation marks like comma, dash, or brackets to highlight the definition. They also use signal words like such as, refers to, or is called, and this means, etc. Study the example on the board as we take a look at them. The example under the definition clues, we have, I presume or guess our team won the match when I saw our fans celebrating. Presume here means guess. To presume means to guess, and it is stated here by highlighting both words that are familiar to each other, that are synonymous to each other. The second example says crude oil, in brackets petroleum, is a means of generating energy in Nigeria. Crude oil can also mean petroleum, and just as we said in the explanation of what we mean by definition clues, we said a writer could highlight them by using punctuation marks and brackets. So crude oil also means petroleum. On the next outline, we'll be taking a look at the main idea implied in reading comprehension and understanding word meaning in context. We will also be reading to identify writer's purpose, tone, and mood. The main idea implied. Sometimes a writer may not state the main idea in the paragraph, but may give enough information within the paragraph to suggest the main idea. It is left to the reader to infer, reason out the main idea. When this happens, you read the paragraph to determine the topic. Ask yourself who or what the paragraph is about. Ask again, what is the most important point the author is making about the topic? Then thirdly, you can use information in the paragraph to form a main idea sentence that answers the question you have asked yourself earlier. Let us take a paragraph and then figure out the main idea being implied in the sentence. In the paragraph. Every organism, living or non-living, has some features that are peculiar to it. They are identified with such features. Human beings and some animals like gorilla and elephants dance, birds and insects fly, gases and liquids evaporate, volcanoes erupt. Strictly speaking, it will be odd to say human beings evaporate or erupt, but we use these features to describe human beings to make what we are saying very clear. The soldier erupted in anger when I tried to play with his gun. Gives us a clear idea of how angry the soldier was. When we use language in this way, it is personification. It is given a quality or an attribute of a human being to a non-human being. Now, to get the main idea in this sentence, add the word personification to the last sentence by replacing the pronoun it with the word. The main idea of this sentence would therefore be personification is giving quality or an attribute of a human being to a non-human being. As we read in this paragraph, the meaning of the paragraph is actually implied. The main topic or the main sentence is implied in the paragraph. Let us take a look at reading to identify the writer's purpose and tone, as well as the mood of the writer. Before we go on to the next one, let us quickly take another example on the main idea implied. I'll read another paragraph out to us, then we'll figure out what the main idea in the paragraph is together. If you want to overcome your fear of public speaking, the first step is to be brief. Make a list of 3 or 4 important points you want to present about the topic. You will feel more confident if you only have to remember a few major details. Next, be accurate. Check to make sure that the information you are going to present is correct. You will feel more confident if you know what you are talking about. Last, be prepared. Practice talking about each point with a friend or in front of a mirror. Rehearsing your presentation will enhance your confidence because you will know you have practiced what you are going to say and how you are going to say it. Now let's take a look at the paragraph again. The topic of this paragraph will therefore be fear of public speaking. The author discusses how to overcome the fear of public speaking. A possible main idea is steps to take to overcome the fear of public speaking. It can also be how to conquer the fear of public speaking. There are 2 main ways by which you can identify the implied meaning in a paragraph. The first step is by adding an essential word or phrase to a sentence that almost states the main idea. That can be found in the first example that we gave. And the second way of identifying the main idea implied in a paragraph is by writing out a sentence that sums up the important idea in the sentence. By writing out a sentence that sums up the important ideas in the paragraph or in the passage. Now let us take a look at reading to identify a writer's purpose, tone, and mood. Let us now take a look at the purpose, the tone, and the mood of a writer. Let us take note of this as well. The tone is the way a writer feels. It reflects the feeling of a writer, while the mood reflects the feeling of a reader. Let us take note of this. The purpose may include the following. The purpose is the main reason of a writing. It may be to inform, it may be to entertain, or it may be to persuade, depending on the purpose of the writer, depending on the idea that he's trying to project in his writing. The tone of a passage. The tone of a passage can, let us read out so that we'll understand what we mean by the tone of a passage. The tone in a writing is seen in the writer's attitude towards the topic or subject he or she is writing on. It is the way the writer writes that shows how he or she feels towards the subject. When describing a tough experience, a writer may use the word terrible, harrowing, or shattering to show a bitter and pathetic tone. Another writer may choose the word challenging or demanding to indicate a tolerant or sympathetic tone. You can identify a writer's tone by studying the writer's choice of words and style. Punctuation and sentence length can also show tone. A sports writer, like we have on the board, a sports writer may write, "It's a goal." This indicates that he is happy and delighted, while another writer would write it as, "It is a goal." The way the second writer, the tone that the second writer uses here, may indicate that the second writer is a fan of the team that is losing, because he writes in a lukewarm manner and in a detached sense. So whenever we are going through a passage, let us always look for clues like the manner, the choice of words of the writer. It actually helps in determining the tone of the writer. Now, the purpose, the mood of the reader. This is the feeling a reader has when or after reading a passage, a play, or a poem. Mood is how a piece of writing makes the reader feel. A reader's mood is influenced by the type of words that the writer chooses. Remember that a writer's choice of word shows his tone. It also determines the reader's mood. Mood is about how a reader feels, while tone is about how a writer feels. Mood may change within the same passage. The choice of words may create a mood of suspense at the beginning and change to a joyous mood at the end. To know the mood, look for words within the passage that suggest the writer's tone. Such words are context clues. Let us study the following example. It is a short paragraph, but within the paragraph are several choices of words that the writer made use of, and this also reflects on the mood of the reader. Let us take the example. His closest relatives were more interested in sharing assets than handling liabilities. They shared the 3 buildings in the city, as well as several cocoa plantations with hundreds of oil palm. None considered it right to take care of the poor boy. Now, the setting of this short paragraph is a village setting, and the mood of the writer, of the reader here, can show pity for the boy, suggested by the word poor. It can also show anger, bitterness towards the relatives, suggested by sharing of assets, and several cocoa plantations, with the fact that none considered it right. None considered it right to take care of the poor boy. This choice of words used by the writer determines the mood of the reader. Having gone through this and discussed this highlighted subtopics, a few questions are going to pop up on the screen for us to study and attempt. If we have any difficulties in answering these questions, let us review the video once more.